that daily paper. Stop playing me.
You gotta choose. You like
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the world's steel capital in the city of Bridges, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Acrisure Stadium. Today, it's a Week 14 matchup that should be a good one between the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Two teams trying to stake their claim to postseason football. Week 14 of the NFL is underway. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Ready.
Now a play fake here on first down. Working the middle here. That's complete to Moreau, the tight end. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. A good start offensively. 15 yards on the game's initial play.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator's... guy open, just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Off play action. Rose. Throw right side into the hands of Foster Moreau. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
Throwing on first down. Rose. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4. Well, this defense for the Browns, they put together a strong effort last week in the win over Chicago.
While you can't actually see confidence rising in a unit, you feel like you can. And when you look at this team, you definitely think that it is, because anytime you can tell your offense, just get us a couple of touchdowns. We got this.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked by Logan Wilson. And the Browns are going to take possession of the football. Well, that is a quick lesson on how difficult this defense is to throw against. An interception on their initial drive of the ballgame.
Now we know why their offensive staff spent the entire week awake trying to prepare for this one, because you can't totally shy away from throwing the football, but at the same time, you're looking at them and going, where are the weaknesses? How are we going to move it?
One of the top defenses in the NFL for a reason. We just saw one example right there. They'll try and run for it with Henry. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
It's second and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. Burrow will throw. That's into a crowd and intercepted. And the Steelers will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line.
Well, Brad, as they say in popular culture, this one's going to leave a mark because they can see the end zone, but it'll stay out of reach because of their error. All their offensive teammates have to give the quarterback right now, offer a little bit of encouragement, because what's done is done. Let's get them next time out.
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And some room to maneuver. And he's going to be forced out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. A big play that time out of Chubb. Give him 52 yards on the ground. Well, welcome to the party. First carry of the game. How about that?
And just think, as far as he's concerned, he's just getting warmed up.
First and goal from just inside the 5. Chubb will get about halfway there as he takes this from the 4 down to the 2. He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a second and goal.
All of a sudden, those lanes that were there earlier in the drive dry up near the goal line. That's a good job defensively to diagnose the run and stop it for a very short pickup.
They'll give it to Chubb. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1.
Well, he did get a taste the previous week. He got into the end zone, trying his best to get there in this game. So far, he's been denied.
Third and goal, they're going with Chubb. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. That winds up being a 4-yard loss and leads to 4th down. Now to try the field goal, here's Daniel Carlson from the left hash. Should be a fairly easy one here. The kick by Carlson is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx it.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The Browns drive about to get started. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome.
It really shouldn't, as long as they're not listening to the chatter coming from the other side, because when you throw a pick, look, I know defensive backs, they have a tendency to be a little bit loud after they take one away, but they also have a tendency to gamble a little bit more, thinking they'll get a second one. Maybe they can take advantage of that with some double moves.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Burrow. And he fires one that's intercepted. And the Steelers are going to take possession of the football.
For a team who came in here on a healthy winning streak, we're seeing some uncharacteristically bad play thus far. And that streak is definitely in jeopardy if this offense keeps giving the ball away and can't mount a few drives of their own.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. Now, these two division rivals, a couple of late games on the schedule this year. Their first meeting, you might remember, was back in Week 10, and it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home. They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And he gets it down close to the 10-yard line. 60 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. They'll be marked inches short. No gain on the play, and that's going to lead them to 4th down. Remember, that was less than a yard. That was not a full yard. That defense, they were having none of it.
Yeah, the surge the offensive line was seeking actually occurred on the other side of the ball. They reestablished the line of scrimmage and stuffed them.
Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And this is going to be nowhere close. Needed some inches and ended up losing yardage. Well, they got the ball already. They're not going to risk the yardage and running another 4th down. They decline it.
And what was that they taught you in law school, that possession is 9/10 of the law?
I didn't go to law school.
Oh, you didn't? I thought you did. Well, I'm going to give that to you anyway. Possession is 9/10 of the law. And it's 9/10 of this game, too. Having the football counts.
You're so litigious. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Nick Bolton there on the tackle. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They're passing here. Joe Burrow. He's got his tight end over the middle, T.J. Hockenson. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
11.
They're going to run the sweep. It's Samuel. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. The partner, this offense 12-0 now on the year following their latest victory. And during the week, a lot of folks making comparisons between this squad and the 1985 Bears. You know, they too were 12-0 at this juncture of the season before losing on a Monday night 38-24 to the Dolphins at the Orange Bowl way back on December 2nd of 85. But then they'd never lose again en route to winning Super Bowl 20.
And when you look back on it, partner, didn't it almost feel like a setup game? Because they were playing the Dolphins, and the Dolphins were protecting their franchise's undefeated season of 1972, that team. And you know what that team does. They love to celebrate the fact that they still are the only one to get through an entire NFL season that way. That was Dan Marino's 3rd year, playing under the great Don Shula, and they were motivated to keep that franchise's record intact.
2nd and 10, a very chilly day here, but no snow. And I got to say, if it's going to be this cold, I want snow. You should see Charles' face. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. He's going to launch this deep for Watson. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep. Try and throw some air under it and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
On is the punter Townsend as he gets this one away. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin them back. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. They begin this drive with Chubb. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. 70 yards rushing now for Chubb, and a first down as well. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
2 yards on the pickup there, and that'll bring up 2nd down. The Steelers at 10-2 on the year, and they coming on a pretty good roll here. Winners of 3 straight.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Now 2nd and 8 at the 32-yard line. Back to throw. Rose. Catch made. It's Moreau. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And he's down right around midfield after a gain of 2, maybe 3. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Off the play fake. Rose. Out to the left. That's where the tight end Moreau is. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 39. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Off play action. Rose. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Off the play fake. Rose. Going out wide, finds Chubb. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line. The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3.
Red, yellow.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he will have a Steelers first down as they convert on 3rd and 3 with a nice gain of 7 yards.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that wasn't the first option.
No, it came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag, completed it very well.
Here we go.
And Chubb will try the middle here. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Well, what a first half he's had running the football. Another terrific run there, and this one finds the end zone.
Well, we know he's a guy who's capable of coming up with big plays in the running game, and his offensive line knows it as well. That keeps them motivated, looking for those extra blocks to give him room to run downfield.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead grows to 10-0. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
Here we go.
The Browns drive about to get started. Nothing for them yet from an offensive standpoint, down 10-zip as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. And he'll get this just across the 25-yard line.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Over the middle, complete. It's Ballard. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
They'll try to run for the first with Henry. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively, and it likely forces a punt situation on 4th. Yes, it's the first half, but we'll see if that stuff there on 3rd and 1 comes back to haunt him.
I hope you don't mind, but it's not going to stop me from putting a check mark next to this play. Let's look back as this game progresses and see if this is one of the key plays in the game, even though it occurred early.
11, 18, take.
They'll run for it with Henry, and they are going to stop him on 4th and 1 as they'll wind up going backwards. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Steelers, they're going to take over an excellent field position. They go up the middle with Chubb. Down to about the 22 here. 105 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
Off play action. Rose. And he'll find Moreau here. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. The middle, it's Chubb. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. He's having a big game running the football, but that one will hurt the yards per carry a little bit.
Yeah, but the average he's got so far, that's the type of average he wants to take with him to contract negotiations, doesn't he?
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Rose. And he's got it. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. The pickup goes for 13 and sets him up 1st and goal.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover. And they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
They'll try and sneak it here. And he'll keep working toward that end zone as he's down to about the 2-yard line. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down. If you're going to run against this unit, especially down here, just beware. I mean, they're the top rushing defense in the league.
Yeah, and then they go ahead and they double down with the whole thing because you think, okay, let's throw the ball. Oh, yeah, that's right. They defend the pass pretty well, too. Very difficult task right now.
They'll go with a keeper. And he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. Only a yard on the sneak, not what he was hoping for, and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, partner, they went a little conservative, didn't they? And they ended up marking it short. And now I wonder, will they even do it again on 3rd down?
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. 10-0 our score. How about this Browns defense? They've held so far. This is now 3rd and goal. It's a quarterback sneak. Yeah, boy, a good surge defensively. It'll depend on the mark, but I'm not sure he got there. Only a yard on the sneak, not enough. And he's a few inches short for 4th down. Defense didn't budge on 3rd down. Now what are we going to see on 4th?
We are soon to find out, but does this feel like old school football or what, right?
Yeah.
It's an old-fashioned goal line stand. I know what I would call on offense. I would go for it. And I want some type of a play where my quarterback has a chance to run it or throw it. I don't just want one static play.
Able to put this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. So they're content to take the 3. Somewhat of a conservative call. They're opting not to go for it on 4th and inches.
And that's from a team that you and I know is not usually playing it close to the vest. It's a little bit of a surprise that they opted for the 3 instead of going for it.
And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started.
And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about, and you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent, and that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to have to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
Here we go, here we go.
They'll try and throw forward with Burrow. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Ballard. And he's going to pick up the Browns' 1st down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive. To the air again, Burrow. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
All right, help me out here a little bit, partner, because what I'm seeing is a passing game that's just struggled to complete anything. No rhythm, no timing. Seems like every pass is also contested well, so give some credit to the defense.
On 2nd and 10, Burrow. And his throw here's incomplete.
That's a nice job there because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties. He's able to knock that one away.
Now play number 7 of the drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 10. He has it complete to Christian Watson. And they're going to have themselves another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 43. 21 yards there on 3rd down. First catch of this game, a big one. Of course, he had the big performance last week when he was AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, but that was so last week, wasn't it? I mean, look at what he's doing now. I think he's trying to exceed what he did in that game and continue to ascend in this season.
And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. The Browns will quickly use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1.
Here we go, here we go. 11 MT. Hey, you got to go score. Let's go.
They will throw on 1st down with Burrow. To the sideline, and that is a heck of a catch as he was able to get both feet in. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here. These last few plays, they have moved right down the field. And just like that, they can be set up with a first and goal.
Final play of the half for Burrow and company. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Looked like both sides were anticipating a quick throw there, and the defense was ready to jump in and deny it, and they did.
Here we go.
They'll throw now on the final play. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. A great play there as time expires in the first half. And the Browns are on the board here in the final seconds of the first half. On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. And that'll make it 13-7. So we have reached halftime in what's a 6-point game at the break. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Browns going to see the football first, but they trail here as we resume play on EA Sports. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Browns drive about to get started.
This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it.
And now Burrow going to be intercepted yet again. And the Steelers are going to take possession of the football.
And that one is going to sting. First play of the third quarter and a turnover.
And you have to know that at halftime, they spent a lot of time going through their checklist of what they wanted to accomplish to start this third quarter. Turning it over like this was not on that list.
Not at all. And you come out of the locker room trailing, so that first drive to establish momentum is very key.
Crucial.
And an excellent job of finding the opening as he's got this now all the way down to the 22. 119 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
They go play action here on first down. Pitch and catch to Moreau, the tight end.
And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there? Freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Second down at 4.
Off the play fake. Rose. Firing quickly here, and that's complete.
And the Steelers are going to be set up with a first and goal coming up as they get him down at the 6-yard line.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
Ready, break. Yellow, one.
They'll run with Chubb. He gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score one touchdown,
you're
without a doubt. And so far today, he's got one, but was denied as he tried to get the second one.
Second and goal from inside the 5. Back to throw. Rose. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. A great effort there. His first touchdown on the year, as his guys are able to extend their lead.
You got to figure down by the goal line. This is where a tight end earns his money, in the high traffic area. And he's able to work free in the middle of the end zone and grabs that one for a touchdown.
Now Mike Tomlin says, let's go ahead and go for 2.
Black ultra.
They'll look to throw. And he's got it. So they try for 2, successful. And that bumps their lead up even further. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Browns drive about to get started.
This offense trying to change the script here a little bit, CD. Trailing on the scoreboard, and the last time out on the very first play of the drive, they threw that interception.
And you definitely saw his coaches, teammates come over to him on the sideline, tried to help him shake it off, because in this game, his team is down right now. So it's important to make sure you get some confidence back for both the quarterback and the entire offense. Otherwise, those mistakes could continue to pile up.
On second down, here's Henry. Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now it's Burrow. And that is incomplete. Wow, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
Now the Steelers put a stop to the action with a timeout defensively. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter.
Here we go.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. A first carry now for Kareem Hunt. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the run there. Now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game, because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. A lot of talk this week about ball security. In fact, they added an extra period in practice to be more secure with the ball. It didn't work out there.
Well, sometimes you just get overexcited during the game. You may all of a sudden make your catch, see some open field, and decide you're going for it, and not realizing that danger lurks while you're doing so, and there's your end result right there. Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on second down.
Come on, set.
Off play action. Rose. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. Looking to throw. Rose. And able to complete it to Moreau. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Ready. Check right. Check pink. Ready.
Handoff comes to Chubb. And he's across the 45. It'll be second down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Off the play fake. Rose. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Ready.
Off play action. Rose. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one goes for 24 yards. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is? Stefanski consulted with his guys above, and they've told him, throw that challenge flag.
Okay, ready?
Now they return to the ground game. Chubb. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively, because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. Back to throw. Rose. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Howard. And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them much better opportunity to convert on third down.
An 8-play drive to this point. So here's play number 9 on 3rd and 7. Looking to throw. Rose. And that will be incomplete.
They converted twice on third down that drive already, but couldn't make it a third. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
The kick by Carlson is good, and they will open things up a bit more. It's 24-7.
After that last sequence, they're sitting pretty comfortably. They force the fumble, get the field goal, and expand on that lead here in the second half.
And don't expect them to rest on their laurels after that kick either. They'll keep their effort up until the final whistle. They don't consider any lead safe.
Here we go. The Browns drive about to get started.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
On 1st and 10, Joe Burrow. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
And the Steelers are going to take possession of the football. They're still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over. You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
And they won't be able to run another play. Time has expired on this 3rd quarter. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Off the play fake. Rose. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
The offense on 3rd down, 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 8. Off play action. Rose. That's complete to Moreau, the tight end. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 23 yards, the final tally. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era. We think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Let's go.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
A give. This is Chubb. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13.
Kyle Duggar up to make the tackle.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
second down. Here's Chubb again.
And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown.
So the rushing touchdowns continue to stack up, CD. That now 15 for him on the year.
I give him a ton of credit for staying healthy, being a smart runner, and is showing just how important he's been to his team. He's got to be their MVP at this point in the season, and those votes may have been turned into league MVP votes when it's all said and done.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead is now 24. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line.
On 2, ready?
The Browns drive about to get started.
And certainly starting to appear that they might finally be about to suffer that first loss of the season. What a heck of a run through 3 months, though, but they trail big here.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion.
Now Burrow loses the football,
and it's picked up by the Steelers. And he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. And Charles, look at the big fella. What a rumble that was. Not only to scoop it, but then take it the rest of the way for the touchdown.
And now you know they're going to have to hear about it from now on. The defensive backs, he's going to want to run with them, do their drills, the whole deal. He thinks he's the pace setter now.
It doesn't matter what happens in practice this week, he's smiling. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And he returns this to the 22.
On 1, ready?
The Browns drive about to get started.
And after all those wins that they've reeled off, it seems that they finally have met their match in a big fourth quarter hole. But still, what a run it's been. It feels like they have not lost in forever.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
I like the fact that he took the shot deep downfield. Even if you don't get the catch, maybe you get a defensive penalty and pick up the yardage that way.
Burrow once again here on 2nd and 10. And my goodness, another interception.
And the Steelers are going to take possession of the football. But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
And he'll take this one down near the 15. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. And again, it's Chubb. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
He had to fight for every yard on that run. Shook himself free of a tackle and kept fighting, even with the rest of the defense closing in on him. That's the kind of effort you'll take every single time.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
Blue check.
On 3rd down, it's Nick Chubb. And he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one.
Ready.
A run for Nick Chubb. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2.
That didn't just feel like good defense there. That felt like pride, didn't it? He's already gotten into the end zone twice, trying to get there for a 3rd time. No one likes to have the hat trick against them.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal.
Davis Price, he is going nowhere in a hurry as he is going to lose yardage here in a big way.
Give him a loss of 6 yards, and it brings up 3rd down.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
Here we go.
Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal.
Chubb. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Only able to pick up a yard, and that's going to leave him with a long 4th and goal.
You know what? I know it's 4th down and they've got a big lead, but go for it.
Yeah, and why not, right? Because they have the big lead. But don't you have to have a little bit of admiration for these guys on the defensive side of the ball? They've been shoved around this entire game, and they're making a nice goal line stand here. It would be fun to see them stop them on 4th down, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but it's like putting whipped cream on broccoli at this point.
So what you're saying is they're going to go for it on 4th down. They're going to get it, aren't they?
I would. The kick by Carlson is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. Well, they come out and take a... We will step aside for just a moment.
Here we go.
The Browns drive about to get started.
Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Underneath here to Hill. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. 12 more yards there and another 1st down. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
And they're going to move it down to inside the 25. Well, I mean, look, obviously there's no 20 or 30-point play in that playbook, but they can try to end things here on a positive note despite trailing big, and that looks like what they're trying to do here by pushing the ball downfield.
Well, let me go with the heavy cliche then, partner. Just control what you can control right now. And all they can control here is how their final plays develop.
Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
Fourth quarter, certainly not enough time for a comeback, but nice to see them making use of the time remaining to try and make this one a little more respectable.
Yeah, I think the ultimate goal, good execution.
And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. Elliott good with a PAT. And the lead drops from 34 down to 27. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. Certainly not what they wanted there, so the football by rule comes out to the 40.
So now the possession will begin at the 35 after the errant kickoff.
Well, that's certainly one way to avoid a dangerous kick returner, I suppose, but you are giving up extra yardage, that's for sure. Because if you put it out of the end zone, they start at the 25. So at a minimum, you're giving up 10 yards to the offense.
Try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
The defense can stop it twice more as they take a knee here.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for the Steelers, the win pushes their record now to 11-2 on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Seattle Seahawks. Meanwhile, for the Browns, it's their very first clunker of the year as they'll fall to 12-1. And they'll be back home next.
Yeah. Hey, check it. Okay, I feel unstoppable. Losing's impossible. Go against the team, the thing they know not to do. Bright lights, game on the line. Do what I gotta do. Time after time, we do the impossible.
game, don't play with my name. You come with your goons, I'm bringing my game. All of that talking just sound like a show, I'm just letting you know that I'm not entertained. You hear the crowd, they screaming my name. I got the stadium going insane. Done with the talking, it ain't no discussion. You started, I finished, put me in the game. Put me in the game. Yeah. Put me in the game. All of that talking just sound like a show, I'm just letting you know that I'm not entertained. Hey, coach. Put me in the game. They put me in, so I'm going in. You play for fun, I'm playing to win. Back on the wall, I'm ready for war. If I beat them before, I can beat them again. They thought I was done, I went on a run and beat all the odds and got even again. Watch what you say, I'm not one of them. When I jump in my bag, I could jump out the gym. Take a look at my legacy, I gotta let them see I'm out here winning, cause I'm on a mission. Put me in the game, cause the way I'm feeling, I honestly do not see no competition. I gotta get it, so it ain't no quitting. We jumped off the benches and jumped in the trenches. No one is better than all of us, and that's why all of us been winning from the beginning. It's more than a game, don't play with my name. You come with your goons, I'm bringing my game. All of that talking just sound like a show, I'm just letting you know that I'm not entertained. You hear the crowd, they screaming my name. I got the stadium going insane. Done with the talking, it ain't no discussion.